My first post was deleted, so I will give you a quick DDLR. Was married to Emily for 3 years, and she decided to cheat with her personal trainer Philip, ending up with me deciding to start divorce proceedings. It was 2 years ago I posted, and there is a ton of updates. I will start with my attorney did not send anything to Philip's employer. He told me it was unethical. Turns out it was Philip's ex, and it was not just evidence of Emily but several women. Philip blamed my attorney because Stacy had let slip. I knew of their affair. A month later I received a call from my attorney. Emily was pregnant, and she obviously did not know who the father was. She said she did not want an in vitro paternity test. It was 6 months before we could see a judge for the divorce. Emily was disputing the prenup. The judge decided that because I had illegally evicted Emily that she would get half of the marital assets. Thankfully this was not a massive amount. Emily had the baby, and obviously the judge ordered a paternity test and said Philip was to have one too. He could not make a child support ruling until that was done and arraign the divorce until the test was done. So, there was good news and bad news depending on who you are. The good news is I am not the father of Emily's baby. The bad news is neither is Philip. It turns out Emily had more than the affair with Philip. Obviously, Philip kicked her out, as he can take a woman being allowed to be having an affair with him but cannot take her cheating on him as well. The judge completed the divorce, and I had to pay Emily somewhere in the region of $100,000. I started therapy not long after and threw myself into my work but found it unfulfilling and decided to start a business as an IT consultant. I was working part-time. My therapist about a year ago told me to try dating again. So I downloaded a dating app, and had a few matches. I went on a few dates and had a couple of hookups. The longest I dated anyone was a girl named Jess who was slightly older than me. She was pretty sweet but was hung up on her high school crush who was a famous novelist. That fizzled out after a couple of months. Last I heard she went to her high school reunion, and hooked up with him and his fiancée in the end. Emily had left the area and moved back to her hometown and was teaching again. She has started dating her old high school boyfriend. I know this because her father Hank rang me to ask me to take her back. Turns out he was never a fan of his. I just calmly said no, and goodbye. The other reason I am updating is that about a week ago I matched on the dating app with Stacy, which was a surprise. I thought about swiping left, but instead swiped right. She messaged me a couple of days later and we are going on a date next Friday. I do not think anything will come of it, but we will see.